On behalf of the Duke faculty and trustees, I welcome you to the 2010 commencement celebration. In a few moments, you will gain a distinguished title that will stay with you your whole life. You will be a graduate of Duke University. The name of Duke is known around the world as a synonym for excellence and achievement because of the lives our alumni have led.
Point of fact search runs
Through
for the Duke alum
Duke
for 3
graduates
years.
working in every field have made the world a better, smarter, and more humane place through the application of their powers. Now it's your turn. Today we celebrate the end of your preparation and release you to make your contribution to your times. Duke has an excellent custom of selecting a graduating student to speak at commencement. Please join me in welcoming the student speaker, David Distenbaum.
Thank you. Thank you. Please be seated. Your rousing ovation is overwhelming. Fellow graduates, distinguished faculty, family, friends, friends of family, family pets, children who just wandered into the stadium by accident, and of course, our esteemed guest and speaker, Dr. Muhammad Yunus. It's truly a privilege to be up here today. I've got to be honest, though, it's a little strange for me to be speaking from prepared remarks. You see, so much of my Duke experience has been unrehearsed, completely unscripted, while other students were uncovering the facts, working for the Chronicle, or conducting research for their graduate thesis. I was busy making stuff up as part of Duke University Improv, or DUI for short. Along the way, I learned the value of the improv principle, yes and its application to life at Duke and beyond. Now, before coming here, the closest I ever got to improv was when I told my Duke interviewer that I planned to become a Spanish major and take advantage of the muchos books in the Perkins Biblioteca. But what exactly is improv? Is it like stand-up? No. Is it like Saturday Night Live? No. Is it something you do in spandex during tailgate? That was only once during junior year, Mama, I swear. Really, improv comedy is most like the TV show Whose Lines It Anyway, where actors perform spontaneous scenes based on audience suggestions. Now I know what you're thinking, and yes, these are in fact my real eyebrows. But you may also be wondering how this silly comedy group has anything to do with today's graduation. Well, the fact is that improv can teach us all how to successfully navigate life after Duke, which brings me back to the concept of yes and. It's the very first thing we teach all our newest members. The second thing we teach them, jokes about UNC are always funny. It's true. So yes and, what does it mean? Well, yes and means to take what you're given and build on it. So, for example, if my scene partner hands me an invisible object and says it's a cosmic burrito, I could say, yes, and I can't wait to eat it. What you absolutely should not say is, what are you talking about? That's not a burrito. That's my grandmother. Not a good idea. Now, good improv is not the only positive result of saying yes and. Let me share a personal experience. Sophomore year, a friend of mine had an idea for a short film and asked if I would help make it. Although I thought the idea was pretty ridiculous, I couldn't help but think about the yes and principle. So, building upon what I had learned in my film classes at Duke, I helped him develop the script and shoot the movie. To our amazement, that little video amassed 5 million views on YouTube. That's almost as many views as Susan Boyle or that cat who plays the keyboard.
Love that one.
Our video received so many views that YouTube offered to work with us and share the revenues. Now, we didn't have much use for the money ourselves. I mean, we still had tons of leftover food points. So, we decided to donate any money received to pediatric cancer research. In this case,
I'm sorry, I can't give you any money. I'm
in this
against
case,
cancer.
answering yes and to making a somewhat trivial video led to us raising thousands of dollars to help save lives. Of course, I'm certainly not the only person at Duke who has made use of yes and. In fact, all around our campus are examples of students, faculty, and administrators building on each other's ideas to create something even greater. This is even true of our beloved Duke parking services. Just last year, I got my very first parking ticket. And this year, Duke Parking built on their success by giving me my second and third parking tickets. A more positive example, though, is Duke basketball.
National champs.
Even with the country's greatest student section, we still find ways to build on our enthusiasm. This year, Duke organized the first ever Countdown to Craziness to launch the season in an even more meaningful way. So, is it merely a coincidence that this was the year we won our 4th national championship?
Against a mid-major.
Maybe just a coincidence. Or perhaps, yes and in action. Yes and teaches us to not just accept the world we live in, but also find ways to make it a better place. Indeed, it's fitting that today's commencement speaker is Dr. Muhammad Yunus, since he has championed this very idea in his own work. He has taken a banking concept and built on it, thereby creating positive economic development. Likewise, this yes and principle is true when it comes to our Duke education. Yes, these past years as Duke students have given us all an amazing opportunity to challenge ourselves academically. And, just as important, a chance to build on it creatively and charitably outside the classroom. For instance, in one of my favorite courses, a junior year seminar called Everyday Cognition, we studied cognitive psychology phenomena and later applied those concepts to actual court cases. And this year, a Duke graduate student used what she had learned researching her history dissertation, and amazingly uncovered Haiti's lost Declaration of Independence. In both cases, we built on existing scholarly work and pushed our studies beyond the academic world. As I've learned from my time at Duke, the keys to successful improv are the same as the keys to success in just about every other facet of life. Whether we become doctors, or researchers, or even a judge on American Idol, like Kara, class of '93, the ability to build upon others' ideas using yes and will certainly serve us well. Fortunately, all of us here sitting in this stadium are already experts at applying yes and. Each one of us. Don't believe me? Just look at the way Duke has developed over the past 20 years to become one of the most celebrated universities in the world. This has happened in part because each class has built on the achievements of the previous one to push the school in innovative directions, from helping to build Duke Engage to working in labs to construct a real-life invisibility cloak. In fact, you may not believe this, but Coach K has been standing next to me this entire time. Hi, Mike. But seriously, without Duke's encouragement for us to support and challenge each other, we never would have developed to form such strong relationships with our peers, our professors, our teammates, and our community. Relationships that we will continue to build upon in our new role as Duke alumni. Ultimately, I have no doubt that wherever we go and whatever we do after graduation, our fellow 2010 Duke graduates will always be there, ready to chime in with that ever-ambitious yes and. Thank you very much. This has been fun.
Yes and. Student remarks. David Distenbaum.